It was really an amazing opportunity to actually have countries look beyond just taking a photography of the situation regarding water resources management. Now we are trying to see how you move from that photography to actually a film, because during their exercise they've been able to actually identify their challenges, and this exercise on 6.5.1, the SDG on the IWRM, has been an extraordinary opportunity for the countries to actually focus on this issue on which they didn't focus so much in the past. So in a first instance, we found an increased interest in the countries on this issue, which usually you say, okay, the countries have an IWRM plan, this is fine, but then what do you do with it? And so this was an extraordinary opportunity to actually look, now we need to be serious and do something about it. So we looked at the, several countries in 4 pilot countries. We had Guatemala for Latin America, we had Kazakhstan for Central Asia, we had Ghana for Africa, and we had Vietnam for Asia. And then we tried to look at how actually can you make the ball run and to start to make a difference. And the big thing was actually to try to get actors of different ministries, different categories, coming from universities, civil society, private sector, come together and understand, look, these are our challenges. We have analyzed them through this framework provided by the United Nations. And so, okay, this is a framework. What can we do with it? What are the priorities? And how can we actually, from these priorities, how can we actually start to make a project proposal for different type of activities? So that was an excellent move. We have learned, of course, some lessons about the whole process. And I would say that the key lessons that we have learned is first, of course, it's a very useful exercise. But then, in order for this exercise to be successful, you need to invite right from the start the right stakeholders around the table. It's not only a question of mixing the people, it's a question of the level. And also a question of what we have seen working with water resources management is not only, especially SDGs, is not only working with the water ministry, but it's also working with the planning ministry. Who is in charge of the SDGs? So this is a type of counterparts that our officers are not always used to interact with. So we have learned that this first enormous opportunity to make a change, but get the right people on the table. And at the right level, because you need to make decisions need to be made, and of course you need also to invite the key donor organizations in the country, and so that it becomes a project that everybody buys in. So I think indeed there's a fantastic opportunity for the countries and for our network to actually, you can focus on something that is tangible. And it is measurable, it's measurable over time. So this exercise is going to be going on every 3 years. I mean, the exercise of monitoring, the survey and giving a picture. But in between, you're able to make actions and try to see how you can actually make the ball run. So I think this has been really an amazing opportunity for everybody to actually work for the future of water resources management. And also, maybe the very last point, I think the water resources management has been seen much more as a key entry point for development. And this is also something new. People thought, it's only about, water resources, we've got different stakeholders, water allocation, but not trying to see, this can be the basis. You organize your water, and it has to be, of course, it has an impact on agriculture, an impact on health, impact on, and climate change having an impact as well on your resource, impact on domestic allocation, and everybody's concerned. Everybody is so putting water back into the center stage of development. This is also what has happened. The experience we had in these 4 countries has been extremely varied. It's no way, one situation multiplied by 4. It is 4 different situations. Kazakhstan, for instance, we thought would be the most difficult place to actually try to develop, a process. But actually it came out to be a very forward-looking. There was the right timing in terms of government change, in terms of wanting to solve issues which I hadn't solved for years. So it has been the opportunity to revise basin management. So it was really amazing, really. In Vietnam, it was also quite interesting, but a very different nature. There it was more actually to try to see if we can do projects on a very low scale and see how you can actually multiply them, taking them as pilot, perhaps. Guatemala, what we have seen is that actually there are some bottlenecks at government level. Everybody's ready to move, but these bottlenecks at government level needs to be solved. And so the work there is not to do the actual IWRM work. It's actually to work on government identification of why these bottlenecks are there, how can this be moved. And then the last one, Ghana, it's a bit similar to Guatemala, meaning that people are used to work on water, but now it's much wider. We need in Guatemala, in Ghana, we need to, of course, to include much more of the other donors and development agencies. So, I mean, of course, it was not perfect, but in a way, it has served as a very good basis for all the other countries in the world where we can actually draw lessons learned from. And I believe that, again, this will be extraordinary experiences for all our country water partnerships, our regional partnerships. We have something to do for the coming next years, 10 years actually. So there's a lot of work, it's possible, and it's concrete. And so let's do it.